The Hall of Flame Fire Museum in Phoenix is now home to a unique piece of 9/11 history. A rescue truck from Queens, New York has been fully restored and will sit on permanent display. Chuck Montgomery is the executive director of the Hall of Flame. He joins us now. We also welcome New York Fire Department Lieutenant Bill Hennessy, retired lieutenant. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to get to you in a minute because I want to hear that. You look fantastic and you look good as well. But let's talk about the Hall of Flame. That's a good looking museum as well. That's the biggest fire museum, isn't it?
In the world.
In the world.
It is the largest fire museum in the world. It's about the size of a Home Depot with 100 fire trucks inside.
And where located?
6101 East Van Buren, right next to the ASU baseball park.
There you go. All right. On display is this truck, this rescue truck from Queens. This has been restored to full, the way it looked on September 10th, I would imagine, right?
Yes, it does. It's been a long process. It's taken us well over a decade to do it, and we've gotten lots of donations from the community. But yes, the truck's back in its original condition, down to the most minute detail.
Is that the only truck to be restored from 9/11 in its entirety?
Yes,
because I'd imagine there's a lot of damage to a lot of trucks.
Yes, there is. 350 trucks were destroyed.
My goodness.
This is the only truck that was pulled out, and it's because of the multiple incidents with this truck. You had the Father's Day fire before 9/11, 9/11, and then the Rockaway plane crash after. So it's been on in 1 year. It had a lot of activity.
Yeah, that truck's seen a lot of things. You, sir, have seen a lot of things, and thank you so much for joining us here in Arizona.
Thank you for having me.
It's definitely an honor. Talk about as best you can what happened that day, what you remember, what you saw, what you thought.
Well, fortunately for me, I happened to be off that day. Just the luck of the draw. I was in Queens. I actually had a basement apartment in my parents' house at the time, and I was 28 years old, and my dad had screamed down, into the basement, "Turn on a TV, a plane just hit the World Trade Center." I turned it on, and I'm watching it just like everyone else unfold. The phone rings, and it's my best friend, and he just had a daughter that happened to be born on September 8th, his first child. She's my goddaughter. She's 24 years old right now. And he went in on Monday on the 10th and said, "I'd like to take off Tuesday and Wednesday to take my daughter home from the hospital." So he happens to not be in there, which I'm thrilled. That happens to be one of the silver lining stories. Get ready, get my gear, my clothes on, and start heading down there. My mom's screaming, "Don't go, and my dad, who's a retired firefighter at the time, he retired a year before this happened, he's telling my mom, "I have to go." I run out the door. She comes screaming, "I love you," and I jump in the car and start heading down. I only live 5 miles away from Lower Manhattan, so I rush into my firehouse. All the other guys, the truck's already down there. Engine 39 and ladder 16 are down there. Simultaneously, other firefighters are showing up. We grab all our gear, and the firehouse is on East 67th Street. It's a traverse for a bus to go to the west side. So one of the guys stopped the bus, and we commandeered a New York City bus, jumped on, had all of our gear, had maybe 10 or 12 guys with us, went through Central Park, got to the west side, and we just happened to be stopped at a light, and there's another firehouse right on that corner. It's engine 40, ladder 35. So those guys all had run out, jumped on the bus with us, and the captain was on the bus. He said, "Hey, sign in. We all have to sign in for duty." So we all ran back into the firehouse to sign the day book.
Wow.
And the second tower came down right when we were doing that.
Holy smokes.
So then, anyway, there's a church next to that firehouse. A priest ends up running out, jumping on the bus, and we're on a New York City bus, a public bus going down to Ground Zero, and there's fire trucks passing us. There's no Twin Towers at the end of Manhattan, and for the first time in the day, I am scared out of my mind.
I would imagine. Wow, what a story. And we should mention the truck involved here. This is, I believe it's Rescue 4, the fire truck. A lot of casualties on that truck.
Nine folks that had responded on that truck perished, and not all of them were on duty. Some guys just inadvertently were jumped on the truck and went along with the response, and that was common out of many firehouses the additional, because it was right around shift change when this occurred.
And I would imagine you had a really long day, didn't you?
I didn't go home that night. We worked through the night. I watched 7 World Trade Center fall down. On a more positive note, so I'm in ladder 16, engine 39. We share a firehouse. It's a double house. They happen to be in the World Trade Center when the building collapses with members from ladder 6 and a few other members and some civilians. And there's over 10 people, maybe 12 or 15 people that actually walked out of the building of the North Tower.
Wow.
And the guys from 39 Engine that were in my firehouse, Lieutenant Jim McGlynn and James F. Demiades, Bobby Bacon, and Jeff Caniglio, all with members of Ladder 6. And the members of Ladder 6 were carrying a lady out. And
wow.
yeah,
oh,
they
man.
all walked out.
And that is a great way
Yeah.
to end. And we got to end the conversation because we got to get moving. But I got to ask you, what do you want people to take when they see this fire truck?
I want them to walk away with the respect that the New York City firefighters deserve. The ones lost, the ones that continue to be lost, the folks that were there that weren't killed that day. It's up to 409 that have contracted diseases from breathing in the after effects. So.
Yeah. And last question for you. On September 11th, what does the day mean to you? What do you want it to mean to us?
Well, I just want everyone to just take a moment and think about the sacrifice of everybody that day. Cops, firefighters, they rushed in. They didn't ask anybody what political party they were from, what gender they are, what religion they're into. They just ran 100 miles an hour into the danger to take part in the largest rescue effort in American history.
Yeah, we thank them. We thank you, retired Lieutenant William Hennessy. Thank you so much for joining us. And Chuck Montgomery Hall of Fame Museum, thank you as well. And we'll get down there and take a look at Rescue 4 truck.
Okay.
All right, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.